You have entered the Chronic's rabbit hole, and Fritz, thank you so much for your Patreon membership request. You are bringing back down the rabbit hole some ELUVEITIE, and the song is The Slumber.
Thank you so much, Fritz. We haven't had ELUVEITIE come down the rabbit hole in such a long time, and I'm really looking forward to see what we are going to be introduced to with The Slumber. Thank you so much, Fritz, for bringing ELUVEITIE back down the rabbit hole. I'm really looking forward to the official lyric video of The Slumber because I love knowing the lyrics of what the song and the story that is being told, as you know, and I love the official video so I can see the art and imagery that the band has put together for their amazing songs. If you guys are as excited to have ELUVEITIE come back down the rabbit hole, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit a notification bell so you never miss a beat with Enter the Chronic, and make sure you know all the new music coming down the rabbit hole.
I'm super excited for some heavy folk metal. Again, I love the singers for this band as well, and all the crazy instruments that they have that I had no idea before this amazing band. Let's get into The Slumber.
Let's get into it. Ooh, I like.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean.
I forgot how folky and amazing they are.
Yeah.
Is it the Forever Slumber?
Oh yeah, Fabi's here.
Yes.
Step by step we trudge on the scarlet road. A drift that in your keen and pure, grimly walking the will of the one.
One foot in front of the other one, on this deep road, paved ever broad. Step by step we march along, but by breath we just plow on.
To make, come on, but we stagger and slumber.
Walking and lost,
The long as we wander,
dreaming of the promised land.
and we'll find our
What truth?
Okay, just so good
Wow.
together. Oh my god. The singers, that's what I'm saying. The last time we checked out ELUVEITIE, I don't think Fabi was added actually, and that's where I was like, whoa, I didn't know they did songs without her, so I was happy to see her right away.
Absolutely.
And then right when I forgot his name came in, and they just had that added the metal to the folkiness of the
growl.
beautiness.
Oh my God.
It's like, this is why we love them, right?
Absolutely, because like his voice is just so phenomenal, and him and Fabi together are just
Jeez.
the perfect pairing.
They really are.
because they have that back and forth, that
contrast?
that contrast.
Yeah.
Thank you. They
Yeah.
have that contrast that is just, it's a treat, because he has that almost demonic scream
He does, absolutely.
to him when he's bringing.
It's so deep.
It's so deep.
Yeah.
And then she's got that siren's call.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's a
And
beautiful voice.
ELUVEITIE, this mashes folk and metal together so beautifully.
Yeah. Right, and the lyric video really does help to it, and you can just see all like the things that were holding them back at the beginning, and the video itself is amazing.
Yeah, and they had like they're back in. So we've seen ELUVEITIE in the past being in an area that is like encaged with cameras, barbed wire, that kind of feel.
Yeah.
In some of their music videos, and being back in that kind of feel of like, they're trying to find the promised land, as they're saying,
Yeah.
but they're being watched, they're being held down. You can see the chains around
Exactly,
them.
yeah.
And so like it's such
Sleepwalking through life.
sleepwalking through life, being chained. And we've been actually today we've had a lot of videos about this.
Yeah, it's an interesting message being put
Yeah,
out.
step by step you're trying to get through it,
Hmm.
but you're never leaving that caged area
On the Scarlet Road, eh?
on the
Paved
Scarlet
by our
Road.
blood.
Wow,
Right?
so powerful.
All right.
To the other one, Karen and serve, we swallow down day by day.
okay, just real quick, because like they threw in like the Nazis and all that too, and how they were marching. That's what at least I thought. And yeah, like the type of sleepwalking you have to do once it becomes that far to continue on with the lifestyle that's going on in your culture. It is like everyone's just trying to make it through the next day, and if you're with them too, you're still trying to make it to the next day, because that's an endless goal that they had with their extermination and as well as perpetuation plans.
The perpetuation of their plans. And then at that as well, when they're talking about our sons will have to walk these roads as well, and walking the roads of a scarlet painted with our blood, that also doesn't just talk about one war, but all the wars as well. Because, and then void wards. So void is an emptiness. It's non-existent. It has no meaning. It's the void. And the ward is when you are owned, that ownership, like a ward of the court is like a child who is owned by all.
Yeah.
So like these void wards, these are these sons that are marching in endless wars that have no meaning in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're having to drink the blood of their sons, of everyone who is in your in your platoon, as well as everyone who you're fighting for back home.
Yeah.
Like,
of course. Like,
this is just insanely amazing, because we as a species have been at war since our inception.
yeah.
And
As most species have.
As most species have. Even look at like monkeys. They have turf wars, monkeys and primates
They
and
have
everything.
a culture style, how to live, and if you cross it, things aren't going to go well.
And they are very violent on it. Growing up on a farm, all of our animals had little turf wars as well in their areas. And that's why they had to be separated out, because they would actually go at each other. And it's so crazy that this is such an endowed thing in the spirit of just everything, both human and animal. And the fact that she's saying like that sleepwalking, like, because you're sleepwalking, it's almost like it's
you have to be at that point.
You have
sometimes.
to be. It's
if it gets that far, you are, because then everyone's lied by that point, right?
Absolutely. I wasn't like I had an idea about what the song was about until I saw that visual of the marching soldiers, and then it just hit.
Now it all makes
sense.
It's
like, oh,
it's a history lesson again, which is why we've been talking about how these lyric videos and official music videos are getting almost as good as movies now, like legit blockbusters.
As good as blockbuster movies. The other thing I just wanted to say as well is I can't remember the exact lyric that this happened in, but there was actually a moment a lyric happened, and it just made me think, if we forget history, if we sleepwalk to what has happened in our past, then we are bound to continue repeating it and walking down that scarlet road. If
and
we
your kids
ignore it because it's painful, then we are bound to continue walking down that scarlet road. And that's something that I think is forgotten in our country, at least.
For sure.
Where people don't want to acknowledge what has happened because it's too painful. But that means that we're just continuing and perpetuating and drinking the blood of our sons to paint that scarlet road.
At least it gives substance. Maybe that's why they keep going, which is crazy, right?
Who knows?
All right.
But we stagger and slumber. The moments we wander. But we stagger and slumber. The moments we wander. Dreaming of the terrorist flash and won't find our
The Slumber is the first part of two song cycles based on the ancient Celtic legend of Cesrones, one of the oldest Celtic myths we still have fragments of today. That ancient myth tells the story of an endless enslaved people, of a dictatorship, and of a liberation, and it speaks to our modern societies with the same power and truth as it did speak to people more than 2,000 years ago.
Crazy.
Wow.
And that's what I mean. It's like it's just war itself because it can speak to everything, right?
2,000 years ago, the same story that speaks to them about an enslaved people and under a dictatorship and the liberation of those people is the same story that we are hearing today.
Yeah.
Because the history continues. We don't know this myth, but it still repeats itself daily.
Yeah, because like exactly, if you never
Oh my god.
if you don't define how to succeed, then you will be bound to fail because you just won't know when you're failing.
Yeah.
And like doesn't mean you're not failing still if that stuff's going down, right? Like that's why I mean, like war is so ingrained into everything, and it's crazy because now it's in Ukraine and it's around the world and happening, and we're so naive in Canada where it's never happening here, so we don't have all these myths in Canada about our like past oppression opposed to maybe just single groups of people, and like not as a generation of like actually having war on our territory is crazy.
Yeah.
And like I'm sure there is because I'm naive and I don't know everything, but what I'm trying to say is like it's not as big as say like the Greeks and like all these old school places that have way more history 2,000 years ago, right? Like,
and they have more history that is visual.
yeah.
The issue with Canadian history when we talk about wars that happen on Canadian soil is that these are wars that have happened in silence. They're wars that have happened and been kept under covers.
They get revised.
They get rewritten. They get hidden. They're not talked about. So it's not like something that's happened during like World War I or World War II where there's literally bombs falling from the sky. We don't have people invading us and creating catastrophes. Like the most that we have in Canadian history is when the British came to North America, but they actually came to the States and just migrated up.
Yeah.
Right? But that's all we kind of have for our histories. We don't have like these crazy wars, and the wars that have happened, like the War of 1812, for example, is the only one really Canadian war we know about. But what has happened in our past, it's kept under. It's almost like it's kept under the rug. It gets buried.
It gets buried and something gets put on top of it to replace it, kind of like, that's what I'm saying, like groups of people sure have been oppressed in our Canada history. That's definitely getting pushed out
but
right
it's
now.
all kept silent.
And
it's all kept silent.
All this stuff's leaking out because everyone's sleepwalking through this stuff.
Absolutely.
And it makes me think of this crazy experiment that happened that I've told you about. Like real quick, it's like they do a little video thing where they'll get a little kid to be taken by an actor and then runs into a corner of like a back alley. And then no one goes and stops this.
Yeah.
They just stay on their phone and almost think it's like, maybe they already can tell it's fake or something, but everyone's not going to follow that girl.
It's the zombie apocalypse of staring.
Into
this
that
is
black
the zombie
screen.
Apocalypse. At the moment, because everyone's sleepwalking through life as zombies. No one is seeing the things that happen. I've seen the same type video where they're videotaping, they're like, okay, who saw the guy in the gorilla suit? No one sees the guy in the gorilla suit.
Yeah.
Who saw this person take the kid? No one saw the person take the kid. Who saw this guy get into a fist fight in front of the liquor store? No one saw him get into the fist fight.
Yeah.
Because people are so into their own individual world that they're not looking out for that community. So
exactly, right?
I've been listening to difficultly the Gulag Archipelago, and I have to take moments because you have to go through it in sections because it's so difficult.
It's one of the most powerful books.
And literally, when you're reading in the Gulag Archipelago, and they're talking about when people were taken and how they kind of moved in and arrested people. Yeah. It was literally as easy as, hey, I haven't seen you in forever. Oh my God. It's been so long. Let's go get a coffee.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it has been a while.
Sure?
Okay, sure. In a camp.
Never come back.
Never come back. There, it's like, oh, look at this great camp. Like, you should send your kids to this new camp. It's such an amazing camp. Never see your kid again. And these are things, and then people around were watching this happen. And it took a woman, actually, there was a story of a woman who stood on a lamppost screaming. It was one woman screaming about how, I don't know this person, I don't know them.
Right.
Like, get them away, I don't know this person. And the person like, no, like, you remember me? This is my friends.
Yeah.
And it took that one person for people to finally look up.
To act like a fool.
And to act like that fool, to look up and be like, oh, maybe she doesn't know that person.
Yeah.
But no one's willing to scream out. No one's willing to look
Exactly.
like the fool.
Exactly.
And no one's willing to walk in when it's not their issue.
Yeah.
No one's willing to be like, hey, that girl looks uncomfortable. Maybe I should intervene. There are few, but there's not enough. And that's how these things happened and all these arrests were happening.
It's just
and it's just
microaggressions
this
keeps going.
microaggression and these little moments that are just repeating themselves in history. 2,000 years ago, a Celtic tale about oppression and dictatorships and liberators.
Yeah.
2,000 years in the future, or 50 years ago, I should say, even dictatorships, oppression, and liberators.
And there's still,
today.
that's going on today. Exactly. Today
It's
too.
the same story, and we're sleepwalking through life with it.
Yeah.
If you haven't read the Gulag Archipelago, go read it. And, you know, it takes a moment.
Yeah,
But,
have
like,
a drink with you on that
Oh
one.
my God.
Yeah,
like-
powerful stuff, and the music itself, again, to bring it back to the music, the Slumber. Great. We loved it. Thank you so much, Fritz. We could go on with the passion that this does bring out, because it's hits at home for
hits
everyone now,
home.
right? So thank you guys so much for your time with us. If you had a good time, hit that like button, comment down below if you want to see more ELUVEITIE come down the rabbit hole. But we are exiting the rabbit hole now.
Absolutely. This was phenomenal, Fritz. This brings up so much conversation. The music is just insanely phenomenal. Fabi sounds just immaculate as always as she's crying out.
You want to sing along with
I just
her.
want to sing along with her, and I want to cry out with her. Thank you so much, Fritz. Peace and love, everyone.
God bless you.
Take care, and bye for now.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Enter the Chronicness.
Special thanks to all of our YouTube, Patreon, and Buy Me a Coffee members. Thank you for all of your support.